So, if you watched my video yesterday for the new Mugler Amen Phantasm, that's not going to be out for like another 35 days. I got a fragrance haul from News Parfums that I thought would take like 2 weeks to arrive, like it normally does, like 10 days or so. And it arrived in 3 days, carrying not only that Amen Mugler Phantasm, but the new Lacoste Original, as well as Mont Blanc Legend Blue, 2 replicas, and a couple other things. But I already did my Phantasm review. I'm doing the blue review sometime later this week, and I will be talking about this on Ross's Live, which is probably in about 20 minutes after I record this video. But this is Lacoste, or I almost said Lacoste Blanc, Lacoste Original. Brand new release here in 2024. That's what we're doing my first impressions of today. So without further ado, let's get it. What's good, my great smelling dudes? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka FragranceDoud, back with another first impression. 2024 new release. They always come in spurts, like I say, every single year. We get a bunch in the beginning of the year, we get a bunch in April, then we get a bunch, like 3 or 4 usually in June, July, and then the rest of the year you kind of get nothing. With that said, they did just release information about a new 1 million coming out, so maybe we'll get some more later in the year this year. Who knows? But before we get into this first impression of the Lacoste, make sure that if you're not already and you like this type of content, new releases, feeding into some niche and indie, and a little bit of like a top 10 list and clones, if you want some of that, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you're not. Also, comment below, let me know if you're interested in trying this fragrance. I know I am, because I'm a huge fan of Lacoste fragrances. Always have been. Most of them smell really nice. While my favorite is Lacoste Blanco Fraiche. And then also hit the like button. Takes 2 seconds. But anyway, today I just took it out of the box. The box, I mean, as Big Beard says, fuck the box. It's just a box. Today we're going to be talking about a throwback to an original. I guess that's why it's called the original. I know somebody said it came out in 1982 or something. I've never actually tried the original Lacoste. I have tried Lacoste Essential, but I don't think they have anything to do with each other. But this is Lacoste Original Eau de Parfum. Actually, kind of nice new bottles, nice and sleek. Definitely different than the ones that came out the last couple years that are see-through. But it's nice, hefty glass. That sticks on. You can hold it by the cap. Let's just say that. Cheese and rice.
Nothing's better than cheddar.
Cheddar Goblin.
Alright, let's get this prime. Stick it on. I'm going to spray it on my other hand. I think I have Phantasm on that hand. Alright. See what we going on with the Lacoste. So again, the bottle. It has like a papery plate to it, but it's really actually quite nice bottle. Nice atomizer, if you could tell. Has a nice dispersal rate. Actually a lot. Huh. Just like most Lacoste, it smells really nice. I mean, it smells familiar. I don't know if I've smelled something that smells like this, for sure. Very bergamot opening. I mean, maybe a little bit of like a ginger. I'm not sure if there's ginger in this, but smells like it. It smells like almost like a bergamot ginger opening. A little bit of like a pink pepper, which is funny because there was pink pepper in the Amen Phantasm, and I can smell it again here, but they're 2 different styles of fragrance. One is a warm fragrance, and this is a fresh fragrance. So now I know at least my nose does really good with pink pepper. This reminds me of kind of almost like, especially in the opening here, almost like a mix between like a slight bit of Bleu de Chanel and YSL YEDP with a twist. Or YEDT and a twist. It has an aromatic tone under there, like a clary sage lavender, like what you would get in YSL YEDP or EDT. It definitely has that clary sage lavender, definitely has that bergamot. This is familiar, but it's really nice and fresh, but it has a little bit of a zingy tartness that is coming from like a ginger or something. It might just be that pink pepper that's providing a spicy tone, just like in Lacoste Blanc Eau Intense, that had that turmeric that brought a little bit of a sharpness and spice to it. That might be what's happening here. But it's definitely fresh. It's definitely clean. It's just slightly tart. It's not blowing me out of the water. But it smells really nice. It smells exactly what you would get a Lacoste fragrance for 3 months after its inception. And that is going to be $40. It smells exactly like that. There are a few from the Lacoste house that just pop out and say, you need to buy me for a little bit more expensive, or if it is more expensive, you should pay this price. Lacoste Blanc Eau Fraiche. Again, I would pay over $100 for that fragrance. It's one of my favorite fragrances. This one is still in that realm of, I mean, it's definitely changing here. There's a little bit of like a woodiness. And I remember I posted the notes for this a couple weeks ago. And if I remember correctly, I was going into this thinking it was going to be a fall and winter fragrance, because if I remember correctly, there was like tonka bean and amber and sandalwood. And so I thought it was going to be warm, but I didn't look at the rest of the notes. I only saw the dry down. It doesn't seem like any of those are really coming through right now. But if it did remind me of anything, I mean, it's actually getting better. It's actually getting a lot better. What I'm going to do, instead of smelling and telling and smelling and telling, I'm going to take a 30-minute break, and we'll see if that dry down creeps up, and then I'll be right back.
1 million, zillion, jillion, dillion, cotillion times later.
All right, peeps, we are back, or should I say dudes? We are back, and I'm going to be talking about the dry down of Lacoste Original. And so I wasn't sure in the opening. I mean, it smelled really nice. It was fresh. It was clean. It had a little bit of a zingy, spicy tartness from like a bergamot mixture with some aromatic tones that smelled like the tones from the YSL Y line, like clary sage and lavender, maybe a little bit of geranium. But then it starts to go its own way, but still not its own way, if you know what I mean. It still has a familiar vibe to it throughout the entire fragrance. Well, not the entire fragrance. We're at like 30 minutes right now, but it has a familiar vibe, and that familiar vibe is getting closer to the other Lacoste fragrances, like Lacoste Blanc Eau Intense, Lacoste Blanc the Eau de Toilette, even Lacoste Essential, like a little bit of that green, herbaceous, lavender mixture. But it's very nice. It's very fresh, clean. This is an easy blind buy fragrance. I got this for $48. 48 euros, so like $50. But it smells very nice, fresh, clean. Is it anything that's wowing me? Not at this point in time. The sandalwood came in a little bit more, and the sandalwood is becoming more prominent as the bergamot's starting to trip down and the aromatics are pulling up. Right now, it's more of like a clary sage, slightly pink pepper mixture on top of sandalwood. That's kind of what it smells like at this point. There's no sweetness or any kind of like heavy ambery tone. It is deepening up just a tad. So we might get there at some point in time, but it smells familiar. You guys, as soon as you smell this, you'll say that. It's like there's other blues out there. It's definitely like a blue fragrance with some green tones underneath it. Maybe like Wyle Parfum mixed together with like Bleu de Chanel or something. I can't quite put my finger on it because it is kind of doing its own thing. But I mean, I would say that this is a very nice, easy blind buy. It's not wowing me yet. It might. I just have to get full wears on it. Right now, I'm just doing my first impressions, first half hour of the fragrance. And I can say it's very clean, fresh, and I know my wife is going to really like this. This is one of those easy wear work scents during the spring, summer, but you could also probably wear this into the fall. I mean, it's definitely like a signature scent. Again, it has more of this blue feeling to it. When I thought it was kind of throwing back to the original, I thought it was going to be more of like a vintage, almost barbershop. It doesn't have any of that. No real soapy tones. Nothing super heavy green. Again, this is more citrus, leaning into a little bit of Aromatic tones and spice. As that aromatic tone pulls up and the citrus dissipates, you get a little bit of woods in there, and it starts to deepen up a bit. That's where we're at right now. There might be a little bit of an ambroxany feel to the fragrance, but it's nice. I'd give this an 8. I think this is, and it's getting better and better. As I keep smelling it, it keeps getting better and better. But I think that this is a above average fragrance that at this point in time, I wouldn't say go out and spend like full USA retail price, like, which is probably like 90 or 100 bucks. I wouldn't say to do that yet. Wait until my full review of it. But I would say this is definitely worth, once it hits like Fragrance Buy for 55 bucks or something like that, or like Joma Shop in a couple months for 40 bucks. It's definitely worth it. I just don't know what the dry down is, and it's not getting light. It seems like it's pretty much across the across the board moderate. So yeah, very, very nice. That is Lacoste Original. Very good fragrance. Let me know what y'all think. Really excited because this year's been pretty crappy as far as the new releases are concerned, and this one's turned me around a bit, while the Mugler Amen Phantasm just kind of gave me a wicked stiffy yesterday. That this Lacoste Original is very nice. Very, very nice fragrance. Lacoste always has nice fragrances, so I can always blind buy them with confidence. And I did that here. It does smell like it's getting a little bit of sweetness in there now. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. And again, I'm not going to just keep talking and talking and talking. I'll be back with my full review in a couple weeks. So thank you guys so much. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Peace.